TG Geeks, episode 378, May 16th, 2022. Chitty Chatty Bang Boing. Hello and welcome to another webcast from tggeeks.com, where Ben and Keith, the two gay geeks, talk about all aspects of Geek-dom and Nerd-ery, sci-fi, comics, film, horror genre. You name it, we talk about it. I'm Keith Lane, and we're coming to you from TG Squared Studios in lovely Phoenix, Arizona. It's the middle of May already.
Yeah. And I'm Ben Raggington, also coming to you from Phoenix, Arizona, where, it's May and it's already hitting 100 degrees.
Getting hot. Let's get on with this episode.
Prepare for hyperdrive.
Meanwhile, in the Hall of Episodes, the two gay geeks are discussing this.
Well, in this episode, it's us again. We have a lot to talk about, a number of really interesting things. Our regular birthday shout-outs, our featured podcast of the week, and you got lots of feedback this week. And our regular shout-outs, we have something interesting to talk about in the second segment, as well as our wacky weekly recap and our end of the show shout-outs. So we're just going to get right to it. Okay, I'm done with that.
That feels like it should be Halloween music. I like that.
It's kind of cute, but I'm done after a bit.
Yeah, after 5 seconds. Okay, I'm
done.
Yeah, that's how I feel about the feedback music.
Oh, is that right?
Uh-huh.
You mean, no, not the feedback music.
I mean, no, the birthday music, yeah, the birthday music. Yeah, 5 seconds, I'm done. Actually, 2 seconds, I'm done. Or is it half a second?
Or is it just thinking about it?
Yeah. Oh, that's it. I thought about it. I'm done.
I'm done. Anyway, we're going to start this off by something
oh my goodness,
really fascinating that we did. Obviously, Ben was
this is more
his
my
up
bag.
His alley.
Yeah.
But
I thought you said more up my ass.
Well, you said it, I didn't. But it was fascinating for me too. We went to a concert at the Celebrity Theater here in Phoenix. The Celebrity Theater has been providing great entertainment.
Oh my gosh.
And in the round
for such a long time,
almost 60 years.
Yeah.
I mean, they started in 1963. Mm-hmm. So
they very seldom do things properly in the round. Now the stage is supposed to rotate. The stage does rotate. And I have seen several shows where the stage was in rotation, but lately that kind of acts that come there now make it impossible to do that.
Yeah, they're just kind of there. But there's been some really big names that have passed through Celebrity over the years.
And it's not, and every seat is great.
Yeah, exactly.
Every seat is fantastic.
It's a small venue,
yeah.
A relatively small venue, maybe 3,000 people or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
And even the upper tier back row is great seats.
I sat
not
there
more than 100 feet from.
I've been in the
stage.
very back row,
yeah,
several times, and have had an awesome view of what is going on up there.
Yeah. And we've had front row seats a number of times to different people, and it's just a great venue for acts to come. But we saw Steve Hackett.
Now, a lot of people may be thinking, who the heck is Steve Hackett?
Who the heck is Steve Hackett?
Steve Hackett is this brilliant guitarist out of England who, in the very early 70s, became the lead guitarist for a little band that some people might have heard of called Genesis.
Who? What?
Yeah, he joined the same time as Phil Collins did. and became their lead guitarist. And he played with them for about 5 years, and then decided that he had so much music inside of him that he wanted to go and embark on a solo career. He just didn't want to be confined to Genesis itself. So he left the band. And of course, at that point, I think a lot of people know what happened with Genesis. They kind of evolved. I mean, they still retained a lot of their musicality, but they became more of a pop group than a rock band. And Steve really wanted to stay in the art rock vein, and released a number of albums, got several respectable hits coming out of those. And then as of late, and there's also some arguments as to why he's doing this, and I'll leave those out. But he has taken on himself. He's carrying the classic Genesis torch. Let's put it that way, because Peter Gabriel will not do any classic Genesis stuff.
Interesting.
He won't. He did it once, very briefly, on his very first solo tour. He did a little bit from The Lamb, but since then he has never performed any classic Genesis material while as a solo artist.
Fascinating.
Steve does, and he's been really going out on the road and trumpeting all this great stuff that he helped to write and record. And his latest tour is called the Seconds Out Tour. And to anybody who wants to know what that is, the very second live album Genesis ever recorded was called Seconds Out. It's this phenomenal double LP for us old folks who remember albums. And so what he did is he's on
vinyl.
Yeah, it's vinyl. Imagine that. So he's going out on the road, and he's performing that entire album in track order. And he starts off the show with a solo set. When I mean solo, I mean he's got a backing band, a fantastic, fantastic band.
Yeah, the drummer is great.
He's new.
The one keyboardist is he's kind of this stoic thing back there, just doing his thing. You never notice that he's there.
But is he not awesome?
He's awesome. And then the bassist is
I love the bassist. That guy is fantastic.
He also has a double neck, which is a 12-string.
Yep.
And a bass.
Right.
But he plays the bass guitar most of the time. And then the other utility person played everything but a stringed instrument.
Yeah, it's the only thing he didn't play.
He played percussion.
He got percussion,
he played
keyboards, wind instruments.
Yeah.
And we're talking. He doubles between flute and sax and different types of sax.
Yeah.
And then you have their lead singer, Naz.
Yeah.
Who does all the classic stuff, who sounds like a blend between Gabriel and Collins. The guy's amazing. And he has a sort of ethereal quality about him, too, which really works well.
Right.
And then, of course, you've got Steve Hackett up front, who is not only like one of the greatest guitarists to ever live, but also is a very good singer in his own right.
Yeah.
So for the first set, which is only about 30 minutes, they focused completely on Steve's solo material, and they jumped all over the place from his very first album to his last album, his most recent solo album, Intermission, and then they came back and did all of Seconds Out. And holy smokes, what a show.
Exactly. I was fascinated by the music. I'm not as into progressive rock as you are, obviously, but that's not.
But there's a lot of
musicality
to it that
a lot
I think
of things
that you can latch onto.
Yeah, I was, and I told somebody this the other day that I've learned to listen to music in a very different way, where a lot of people in my age and whatnot that remember the Leonard Bernstein children's concerts that he did, he would break things down into little chunks so that you could find those things in a musical piece. And Margaret Juntwaite, who was the voice of the Met Opera for years, she told me, because I asked her about some of these operas that were what I would call unlistenable.
Yeah.
And she said, find one little thing that you can latch on to, and then it begins to open up. And the same thing with this music. I heard all kinds of influences. There was one song I said there was Middle Eastern influence, there was Celtic influence, there was Broadway influence, there was, all kinds of different influences on the music. It was this massive thing.
And for anybody who is familiar with old Genesis, Keith is talking about the song "Supper's Ready."
Oh my Lord! It was
which is a tome.
It was like a 75-minute song.
It's not quite that. It's in excess of 20 minutes, but it's like 23 or 24 minutes long. But yeah, what an epic!
It was. I was sitting there just fascinated by it.
It is,
because it was all over the place.
It is. I mean, it really is
all over the place.
It's almost. I mean, the story is almost an existential search into the meaning of life, and the music almost parallels that. I mean, as the character who's telling the story jumps from scene to scene, so does the music.
Right.
And it's fantastic to listen to. I had such a great time because Steve is a brilliant musician who does not believe in, just wild flying all over the fretboard, like a Steve Vai. And I'm not knocking it. I mean, there's a place for that. But Steve likes to create what Peter Gabriel called sonic landscapes.
Yeah.
And that is sometimes just playing a single note.
Right.
I mean, he can do all sorts of really wild things with a note.
And I noticed that a number of times in different songs, he just ran his fingers up and down the strings.
Yeah.
Because
he's creating the sliding noise.
And then, there were several other little techniques that I thought, oh, well, that's fascinating.
Yeah. The man is an innovator. He all I can say is, holy smokes. I was looking forward to the show, but I was so geeked out on a musical level after watching that because I am a music geek. I'm a prog geek. Prague geek.
A prog Greek?
Yeah. I'm very much into Grecian progressive rock.
That's a new one on me.
Yeah, me too. I can create all sorts of really weird jokes now. We're from the band Parthenon. No, but seriously, I love progressive rock, and especially that came out of the 70s. I mean, I love the new stuff too, but I love the stuff from the 70s.
Yep.
And to watch this master who is, he can play just about anything in terms of style and technique on that guitar. I mean, the man is like, he sets the standard for what I think a really solid rock guitarist should be. And to watch him play was like sitting in a masterclass.
Right.
And to hear these great songs that I've loved since I was a teen was also, hear them live was such a joy for me.
Oh, yeah. I understand hearing things live that you've always wanted to hear.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So. You relate. I mean, we've gone to classical concerts, and you've got to hear pieces of work that you never thought you'd hear performed live.
Exactly.
So yeah, I get that.
It was a really great concert.
Oh my God, it was so good. Now, next big concert up on the avenue is Kansas in September, and then we got Pink Floyd month in October.
Pink Floyd.
Yeah, that's going to be great fun.
Yep. So we want to talk about a couple of things that we want to beat these horses some more, shall we say?
Well, we didn't really get a chance to talk about them enough.
Yeah,
we had to glaze over them really fast.
And we've not talked too many spoilers in any of these things. But now that they have all come to their season ends, and sometimes some of them are 2 weeks after, and some are, most are 2 weeks after.
Yeah.
So
we think we can talk.
Not too heavy spoilers.
A little bit.
But a little bit. So just be warned that if you haven't watched, Picard, we're going to talk about that. And then a couple of other things.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the season. I know there
I
are
did
people
too.
that did not.
There were detractors, but I enjoyed it.
I really did. I thought it was very touching at the end.
Oh, my goodness.
My gosh.
On so many levels, there was something very beautiful about it.
Yeah.
Both in terms of the actual what we're seeing in the story,
Yeah.
and then in ways they actually crafted the episode.
Exactly.
That was very, I mean, it pushed all sorts of really warm buttons that almost made me want to cry.
Yeah. And it was a redemption on so many different levels. A redemption and a triumph and what am I looking for? A path forward into a new life.
Yeah, I think that kind of was the plan. Because
that was the whole plan.
Yeah, because they've got some, and they've already finished filming season 3, but I've heard that they've got some huge, galactically epic storylines for season 3.
Yeah, and it was nice to see Q again.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, Q's role in this was fascinating.
It was so atypical Q.
It was.
There were some glimpses of the old Q,
especially in the beginning.
Yeah, but this was, as we came to learn, that this Q is fading out.
Yeah, he's
dying,
going away.
Yeah,
he's dying. And he had it in him to, and I understand it now. When he first appears, he tells Picard, this is all about the path not chosen.
Yep.
And at first it seems like part punishment, part quest, but it's not punishment. He is actually trying to help Jean-Luc realize something that will give his life greater happiness and meaning.
Exactly.
And then when we finally find out why,
oh my,
it's amazing.
Oh yeah,
and it's almost healing for both. Well, it is definitely healing for Picard,
right?
On 2 levels. I mean, it heals part of his something that he's been carrying on since he was a child.
Yep.
And it also sort of heals this. I don't call it a rift, but it's animosity that has existed between Picard and Q since the day they first met.
Right, exactly.
And now they get to part on good terms, which is amazing to watch. I didn't expect it to happen. And some might think that it felt a little, that doesn't flow right, that maybe it feels a bit abrupt. But when you watch it from beginning to end, you kind of walk away saying, yeah, I can see that, because then you look at some of the earlier things that Q does in the season, and it all makes sense. It's like, okay, I thought his motive was this, but in reality, it's this. This is what he was trying to do.
Exactly.
Q is playing like the one heck of a long game here, trying to get Picard to act a certain way so that by the time this is all over, Picard has managed to is healed of his pain.
Exactly.
That he's been carrying on since he was a child.
Yep. And it was good to see Guinan.
Yes. And they and Mike, I don't want to go too much into Guinan because that's really going to the reeds. But I will say, well, yeah, going
the weeds.
The weeds. I mean, yeah. Well, I heard someone call it the reeds once. In any case, they really fooled us with Guinan.
That was maybe an ancient Egyptian reference, but
not Greek?
Not Greek.
Oh, shoot.
This time.
Okay.
They're going to just wade off into the creek.
Yeah, they're right off. Yeah.
The Greek creek.
As it dries up.
In the weeds.
Into the weeds. Yes. Grecian weeds. Where was I going with this?
I don't know.
What was I saying? With Guinan, they gave us a really big surprise that caused the biggest kerfuffle on social media. And I remember it caused endless debates with us about what the heck are they doing? Is this possible? Can they do this? And I was saying, yeah, they could do this. And you were saying, no, they can't do this. And it turns out they did something entirely different.
Exactly.
And when it was finally revealed, I thought, well, of course that's how it's supposed to go. I'm an idiot. Duh.
Of course. And then the last, it was, and this one made complete sense to a kerfuffle that was in the works when they announced that the next gen crew was going to be back in.
Right.
A
lot of people are like, well, where's Wesley?
Yeah.
Well, we find out.
And he didn't pitch a fit.
No.
He wasn't upset.
No.
He wasn't.
He
wasn't bitter. He just accepted
he was
it.
he was almost magnanimous about it. He was very adult, and he was so mature about it. And then we find out why.
Yeah,
because he's in the final episode.
He's
of
in
Picard.
the final episode. Ooh,
yeah, we're popping.
God. You're really
He was in the final episode of Picard.
Yeah,
it was such a treat. Only to find out that apparently. He has been sort of, how do they put it? He's been like a wishbone between the different showrunners. They've so many different shows have been wanting to get their hands on Wesley and use him in their show. And he didn't know that until after he had already filmed Picard.
Right.
And so then he finally gets to do it, and then it all made sense.
Yeah, so he was, he's part of the, apparently,
and this
part of... The Gary 7 group, the Guardians of Forever.
Well, no, he's not part of the Gary 7 group. He's part of the group that oversees the Gary 7 group.
Right. So
the Travelers oversee
the Guardians of Forever.
Right. Well, not the Guardians of Forever.
No, he's not a big stone rock.
He's not a big stone rock. No, we had that already in Discovery. We're done with that. No, but he's part of this. He's a Traveler, and who knew that the Travelers were actually responsible for setting up these watchers,
right,
who are assigned to look after a person all this time. That's what Gary 7, or an event. That's what Gary 7 was meant to do.
Right.
That's what Talon,
was she Talon 7?
No, she's not.
Oh, shoot.
No, she's just Talon, who is a Romulan disguised as a human.
Disguised as a Romulan, disguised as a human?
No, she was simply a Romulan disguised as a human. She finally revealed her Romulan heritage to Picard.
Yeah.
In the past.
And apparently is a progenitor of Picard's pseudo-love interest from the beginning of the season. Yes.
She might very well be an ancestor. She probably is.
Same actress.
Well, same actress, yeah. Who everybody just adores.
Oh, she's wonderful.
She is a delight.
She is.
And I don't see her coming back next season, but if she did, especially if she gets to adopt her more Tal Shiar personality, I would love that because she was so much fun in the first season.
Yeah.
But yeah, this second season was such a delight.
It was
great. I loved how it ended.
I enjoyed it.
I did too.
So now we talk about Slow Horses. This was on BBC America?
No, this was on Apple Plus.
Oh, this was on Apple TV Plus.
Yeah.
It was based on a book, and it's a series of books. The book Slow Horses is one in a series about MI5. And this one is the dregs of MI5 that they can't outright fire or throw in jail forever,
so they relegate them there.
They've done something that
this is purgatory,
egregious,
yeah,
and might be able to
maybe redeem yourself and come back.
Redeem yourself at some point, but it was really fascinating and see the intrigue, and then all of the stuff that led up to the downfall of the current MI5 when the leader of the Slow Horses is. It's like, oh, interesting. He had the one up on everybody.
Oh, he's terribly cagey, and is able to read a room better than anyone out there, and is more than a foil for the director of MI5. Yeah. The show was fantastic.
It is worth watching.
Great cast, especially
8 episodes,
6, 7, something like that.
Yeah.
Fantastic series starring Gary Oldman, who is crustier than I've ever seen him be.
Oh my God. He's a mess.
He's a hot mess.
A hot mess. Oh my Lord.
And just irascible. This is not a nice man.
Yes.
Not a nice guy at all, but he was fun to watch.
Yep.
One
of the worst bosses ever.
Yeah. And it also has, in a very smaller role, but another fantastic actor, Jonathan Pryce, who is so good at playing a variety of types, being ranging from hero to a really classic dark villain. And I kept thinking...
And he was a combination of the two.
Yeah, and I kept thinking, you've got these two great actors here. They have got to have scenes together. And we finally get one in the last episode where they're sitting in a car talking to each other about something very dark and nefarious that they had done.
Yeah.
And oh, wow. The show is fantastic. It's highly intriguing. All episodes are available.
Mysteries.
Yeah. Well, especially like
procedural.
if you like British television,
right?
Because this is told very much in the British style. They have a unique way of telling a story that is very compact, very dense. They can get a lot of detail out there, and yet the pacing is fantastic. It's a great series. I highly recommend everybody to catch it if you can.
And then there's Julia.
Oh, Julia! I've always respected Julia Child, the person, but now I think I love her even more now, as we get to see who she really was.
Yeah. Or at least in this incarnation. I'm sure they took things from...
I'm sure there's some liberty.
Yeah. But it was really great, and how the French chef came to be in the first season. That's what this one was about. It was the first season of the French chef, and how that all happened, and how WGBH in Boston became...
They became a powerhouse and still are.
And still are.
In the public broadcasting network.
And I thought it was fascinating at the one dinner that she was at for public broadcasters, and got an award, and was so deflated by this feminist writer that, just called her on the carpet of,
you're ruining my cause. You're making, you're encouraging women to stay in the kitchen. I mean, it was like, okay, lady, you don't get it.
But it was interesting to see at the end of that scene when she walked out.
I know.
Somebody walked up to her.
To comfort her.
And there were just a few hints.
Yeah.
And you realize... This was Fred Rogers.
Talking to Fred Rogers of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
And this was before Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. It's when he was still living in Canada and doing public television in Canada.
He hadn't brought his show over to the States yet. But you get a sense of what a gentle spirit he really was. And that's how Fred was in real life.
Yeah.
That's how he really was. He was a very gentle soul. And to see him comfort Julia like that was so heartwarming.
Yeah.
And then you've got the other cast, and I really want to especially highlight Bebe Neuwirth and David Hyde Pierce.
Oh my God. They had the same chemistry.
Same chemistry as Niles and Lilith.
Oh my
Frasier.
Lord! It was wonderful.
It was so much fun to watch these two just kind of go at each other.
Yeah,
it was a delight.
And then there was redemption at the end as well too.
Yeah, there was, and I look forward to a season 2.
Yeah, I do too.
I really do, because I want to see where this goes. Although I have a little bit of fear because we know that Julia becomes a widow. And I'm not sure
much
is
later.
It much later?
Oh yeah.
Okay, because
I think he died in 92.
Oh, okay. I had
like
no idea how long he had lived.
Yeah, but he did live with Alzheimer's for many years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he was 10 years older than her. Too,
right.
So
yeah, I'm sure at some point they're going to touch on that. So that'll be interesting to see.
And then we have the Endgame.
Yeah,
and that was fascinating the way that wrapped up. I was perplexed by the ending.
I think we were meant to.
Yeah,
and I think that was deliberate, because the whole idea is, well, let's go to season 2 now.
Yeah, exactly. But it was a good show, and I enjoyed all of the episodes. The ending, like I said, was perplexing, but it is what it is.
I loved it for... Okay, now I got to look up the actress who plays the part. Let me see. That would be Marina Baccarin.
Yeah.
She people might recognize her from Firefly. She was in the reboot of V, and she's the producer and star of this show as this Russian crime dame. I don't know what else would call her. I can't think of it.
Yeah,
but
arms dealer.
Yeah, she's an arms dealer. She is a brilliant statistician. She knows how to manipulate people in all sorts of wild ways.
Yep.
And is manipulating this head FBI agent, all in an attempt to take down a very corrupt president of the United States.
Yep. Then we saw,
it was great.
Yeah, we saw Doctor Strange in the theater last weekend.
Not happy with it. I will go. I won't go into great detail on that because I know some people have not seen it. But I will say this: there were two huge points that bothered me about this movie, and I started having conversations with fellow Phoenix critic Jeff Mitchell, and the more I talked about it, the less I liked the movie.
Oh, interesting.
So I walked away initially giving it like 3.5 out of 5. My rating now has gone down to 2 out of 5. This was not a good movie. It was very badly planned.
Oh, my.
I think the visuals were fantastic. I think Sam Raimi did a great job at putting this film out, but I think it's very badly written, very badly executed, and I think Marvel Studios shot themselves in the foot.
Interesting. And I want to touch on this because this is really important. We ran this article. There was an article that we ran on Saturday that Disney Plus is going to debut the Trevor the musical.
Yeah, this looked very interesting.
From the short Trevor that gave birth to
the Trevor Project.
The Trevor Project. And I'm really excited because I want to see it, because it could be interesting to take that short film and make it into a long musical, shall we say, because the short was very loose, but it gave birth to the Trevor Project, and which is obviously important to us because we run something every week on that. So I'm excited about that. Check it out. There's also, I put in the article, a trailer from the stage musical, because Disney Plus hasn't released a trailer for the thing. Mm-hmm. So I did make a note that is from the stage musical. So it may be slightly different, and Disney does not have that. So
not out, no, because this doesn't come out until much later, doesn't it?
June 24th.
Okay.
So, well, that's it for what we're going to talk about now. So, next thing.
Hi, I'm Michael Chan from Star Trek Discovery, and you are listening to the Two Gay Geeks.
Your favorite music.
Yeah, for like half a second.
Well, here's a few selected birthdays for May 16th through May 22nd, 2022. May 16th, Adriana Caselotti, singer and actress, most famous as the voice of Snow White.
Aha.
She was born into a musical family, and her mother was the first vocal coach of Maria Callas.
Oh, indeed. I didn't know that.
Interesting. And Marv Newland was renting a room from her when he created Bambi Meets Godzilla.
Wow. Okay, that is a connection I did not expect to get.
Exactly. Pierce Brosnan, actor, known for Remington Steele as Bond, James Bond.
Yeah.
Has a number of projects in play.
Oh, this is interesting.
He's a Doctor Who fan.
Oh, yeah.
And is a vocal supporter of the LGBTQ community.
I remember years back when there was talk of bringing Doctor Strange into the MCU. Summer Brooks and I were of the same mind that it should be played by Pierce Brosnan. Well, obviously it's not. It's played by Benedict Cumberbatch. But Pierce is doing one better. There's an upcoming DC movie called Black... Crap, I can't think of the name of it now. Anyway, he's playing their sorcerer, Dr. Fate.
Interesting. And he adopted his first wife's children.
Black Lightning? I think it's called. Go ahead. Sorry. I'm talking to myself.
I see. When their father died, and then she died just shortly after that. So he's got like 6 children. And then we have a friend of ours, Joan Byron. Happy birthday. May 17th. Trent Reznor, musician,
Oh, wow.
composer, notable as part of the group 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah.
Turned to film score composing and has been extremely prolific. He did the soundtrack for Pixar's Soul and Girl with a Dragon Tattoo and Social Network. Played tenor sax in high school.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And served as chief creative officer for Beats Music. And then became an Apple employee when they acquired Beats.
No kidding. I did not know that. That's
Yeah.
far out.
Interesting.
Oh,
Bill-
I want to quickly say the movie Black Adam. That's the movie I was trying to
I
think
see.
of. Now, go
Okay.
ahead.
Bill Bruford,
The Professor.
a drummer and founding member of Yes, toured with King Crimson and Genesis, and partnered with Anderson, Wakeman, and Howe.
Oh my goodness gracious me! Yeah, Wakeman, Bruford. He loved the idea of being able to come up with a drum sound that did not sound like drums, and he was always fascinated with that. And that's how he kind of really became this champion for electronic drum sets. And I will admit, I was not his biggest fan in the beginning because I didn't like what he was trying to do. I didn't understand what he was trying to do back in the early days of Yes. Now I do get it, and I can appreciate it. But when I saw him play with Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman, Howe, this is the first time I actually got to see Bill on stage in some kind of a Yes lineup. And my respect for him completely went through the roof. I think the guy is incredible, and he actually has a doctorate now in music, I think.
Interesting. And then we have friend of ours, Carlin Thomas and Joseph Gaxiola. May 18th, Andreas Katsoulis.
Oh, well.
Actor. He made the rounds doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that, some TV and some movies, like Someone to Watch Over Me, which we saw him in, and a recurring role on Next Generation as Commander Tomalak.
Until the final episode, in which he did not play Tomalak. He played a Romulan who was actually somebody else.
He also did an episode of Enterprise.
That's right. That was actually a good episode. I liked it. It was nice to see him in this really friendly kind of role. I'm sure he didn't find it to be a stretch whatsoever, but it was nice to watch.
Yeah. And then came along Babylon 5.
As Jakar. And that's my reference, because everybody who watched the final episode of Next Generation, All Good Things, and we see Tomalak appear, that's not Tomalak. That's Jakar.
Exactly.
Just who looks like
Everybody
Tomalak. Everybody
says.
saw it. It's great.
And he got along famously with Peter Jurasik.
They were very good friends.
And it stated that scenes with the two of them were some of the easiest to film and required few retakes. And
I believe it.
The cast and crew knew if you had something to discuss with Andreas, you did it before he was in makeup, or you might get an answer from Jakar.
I hadn't heard that.
Yep.
Oh, that's great. And there's some. I would tell people, if you want to know more about Andreas, look up the Babylon 5 reunion panel for Phoenix Comic-Con, because the guy who played Garibaldi, Jerry, I can't think of his last name now, but they were roommates for a time, he has got stories of what Andreas did while they were living together, and things, like rummaging through garbage.
I want the ham.
I want the ham, yeah. And how Jerry came out into the kitchen, and he sees Andreas rummaging through the trash can looking for the receipt, and he said, "Not a word."
Well,
something like that.
And because Jerry he'd never brought the receipt home.
Yeah.
Because he was supposed to get a free ham or something.
Right, and Andreas wanted that ham.
Anyway, Rick Wakeman.
Oh, well.
Member of Yes, started his career as a session museum. Yes, as a session musician, and played on David Bowie's Space Oddity. Mm-hmm. And has a great musician we saw recently at the Celebrity Theater again.
Comes from a very musical family.
Yep. And May 19th, Joey Ramone.
He's dead.
Is this the one?
No, but he is dead.
Okay. Peter Mayhew, actor, literally made a career of Star Wars.
Yeah, that was it.
He did a few other things, but mostly Star Wars.
Yeah.
Loved the convention circuit and the fans. Died in 2019 at the age of 74.
Yeah.
Trevor Peacock, actor, most known to us as
Yes.
Jim Trott on Vicar of Dibley. If you haven't watched The Vicar of Dibley, and you like British TV,
You're gonna love this show.
Oh my God.
It is insane.
It is crazy.
It's so much fun.
It's wonderful. And he also played Old Joe, the Rag and Bow Man, in several productions of A Christmas Carol.
Yes, he did.
He actually died last year at the age of 89.
Imagine that.
And then we have a friend of ours, Craig Batchker. May 20th, Mindy Cohn, actress and voiceover artist, was on The Facts of Life as Natalie and has provided the voice of Velma in almost every incarnation of Scooby-Doo.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. We saw her in Jim Henson's You're Killing Me as
Yeah.
Karen. Oh my God, she was delightful. It was wonderful. That is a crazy
That was
film.
a casting coup getting her also.
Yeah. Let's see. Ted Allen, actor and host, has been around the food scene on TV for quite some time. When Queer Eye for the Straight Guy brought him on as their food and style.
That's the one that broke him out, and now he's everywhere.
Top Chef, Iron Chef, Chopped. Loves to cook for his partner Barry, and they've been together since 1993.
Aw, bless them both.
Then we have David Hedison. I had to put him on here. Actor in The Fly, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, and as Felix in License to Kill and Live and Let Die.
Right.
May 21st, Tom Daly, Olympic gold medalist in multiple events, known mostly as a diver, participated in the 2008 Olympics at the age of 14. He's just a child.
I know.
The youngest competitor ever, and partner of Dustin Lance Black, and loves to knit.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yep. Leo Sayer, singer-songwriter, 70s
You know
and
I
80s.
can't dance. You know I can't dance.
Yeah, co-wrote a song for Roger Daltrey, Giving It All Away, which was Roger's first breakout solo hit.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And many groups have covered his songs. And then we have a friend of ours, Bob Nelson. May 22nd, Bernie Taupin. You talk about a songwriter or lyricist. Most notably for Elton John. His words and Elton's music were a match made in heaven.
Absolutely.
Oh, my Lord. He has written for others, most notably for Starship, We Built This City.
Oh, no kidding.
And Heart, These Dreams.
That was his?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Now we have Harvey Milk.
Oh, my.
Activist, gay culture icon, and martyr. First openly gay man elected in California, the San Francisco Board of Supervisors in 1978, was gunned down along with George Moscone, the then mayor of San Francisco.
I remember that.
November 1978 by Dan White, a disgruntled former supervisor.
I saw the announcement on the news right after it happened.
I did too. The infamous Twinkie defense was employed at the trial. Harvey was very outspoken about the rights for the LGBTQ community, although we were not known as the alphabet people then.
Not yet.
It was just the gay community. And from the Wikipedia article, it says, despite his short career in politics, Milk became an icon in San Francisco and a martyr in the gay community. In 2002, Milk was called the most famous and most significantly openly LGBT official ever elected in the United States. And Ann Cronenberg, his final campaign manager, wrote of him, what set Harvey apart from you and me was that he was a visionary.
Yeah.
He imagined a righteous world inside his head, and then he set out about to create it for real for all of us.
Wonderful.
Received the Presidential Medal of Freedom posthumously in 2009. Then we have friend of ours, Janine Berryman, Nikki Hunter, Victoria Blunt, and my grandmother's 100th birthday. She's passed on. Verna Mae Morris Lane, born in 1912.
100th birthday? No, that's 100. It should be 110.
110, sorry. 110. Anyway, happy birthday. And that's it for the birthdays this time.
Technorama, the podcast for geeks, because geeks are better than cool. You don't hear someone say, "Get away from me, you cool person." Who's gonna have their 65-inch home theater system installed by the Cool Squad? Not me, that's for sure. How much cool cred do you have? Not enough to care about. Think you'll find any canned unicorn meat at thinkcool.com? It's just a part domain name. They don't even have roadkill in a paper cup. That's why you need to start listening to Technorama, because that's what geeks do. Go to chuckchat.com and listen to Technorama before you turn cool.
Go give a listen to our friends Chuck and Craig over at Technorama Podcast.
I'm Daniel Radcliffe, and I believe that reaching out for help is the bravest thing a person can do. If you are struggling and need support, call the Trevor Lifeline at 1-866-488-7386. It's free and confidential, and trained counselors are there to listen 24/7 without judgment. To learn more about the Trevor Project's life-saving work for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or questioning young people, go to thetrevorproject.org.
We want to give a shout out to the Joshua Tree Feeding Program, a 501c3 nonprofit food pantry for HIV and AIDS community in Maricopa and Pinal counties. They could certainly use your help right now. They've got a fundraiser going on. If you'd like to give a single gift or a monthly recurring gift, go to jtfp.org.
And it's time for our feedback. These are comments that we received that were generated from episodes, articles that we ran on our website at tggeeks.com. And the links for these will be in the show notes for this episode number 378 at tggeeks.com. Starting with regarding TG Geeks episode number 376, hence my boo-boo. I got a comment from Patricia Chica. Always great to listen to the Two Gay Geeks, number one. Well, thank you. We got a comment. Yeah, got a comment from Beth Acamando. We gave her a birthday shout out. She says, many thanks for the birthday wishes. And we also talked about The Hourglass Throne being out there in the wild, the book by Katie Edwards. And got a comment from Hamish Down. He says, I'm so excited for The Hourglass Throne. And then lastly, I think because it was also Audrey Hepburn's birthday, we talked a little bit about My Fair Lady. We got a comment from one of my dearest friends, Darren Anderson in England. And he says, I love My Fair Lady. Of course you do. Moving on, regarding Ben's breakdown, The Offer, 3-episode thoughts. Got 2 small comments here, both from Instagram. First from Jane Andrews saying, Matthew Good is absolutely brilliant. I will not dispute that. He is great in this. And I also got a comment from Donna Reeves Baumgardner who says, love it. That's our feedback.
If you want to leave a comment, you can do that on any place that you can find us, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and tggeeks.com. We also have our listener feedback line that you can call and leave a voicemail on anything that we publish. You can call 469-TG-Geeks. That is 469-844-3357. And as always, please play nice.
For more than 2 decades, Judy and Dennis Shepard have honored their son Matt by working to erase hate around the world. The Matthew Shepard Foundation honors his legacy by inspiring the good work of activists, teachers, artists, and legislators, and everyday LGBTQ+ folks and their allies. Join us today in helping to erase hate. Visit MatthewShepard.org.
Thank you to Comcast NBC Universal for that promo. Well, we're huge supporters of independent creators, whether it's film book makers, comic book artists, writers, or others. And we're getting ready to go to Phoenix Fan Fusion, which is the local convention. And there's going to be lots of independent creators there. And we would encourage you, if you are of the mind of going out and about and going to conventions, to support those independent creators. Please chat them up, chat other people up about their stuff, look at their stuff, buy their stuff. Please have cash for them. It makes it a lot easier because sometimes the internet is a little spotty, and some of them don't have a really good way to accept credit cards. So please consider supporting independent creators. If you are trans or are questioning your gender identity, and if you are in crisis or are feeling isolated and need someone to talk to, or you know of someone in a similar situation, there is a special hotline just for you. The hotline is provided by translifeline.org and staffed by trained counselors who are transgender themselves. The hotline in the U.S. is 877-565-8860. In Canada, it is 877-330-6366. Or you can go to translifeline.org to learn about the important work they are doing. Please reach out for help. You are not alone.
Yeah, baby. They're like two gay geeks. They're together, you know. They're two gay guys and they're geeks. Is that okay?
We are in a rush.
We are in a rush. Yeah, we took a lot of time. Strange New Worlds.
I'm loving this series.
I'm loving it.
Absolutely loving it.
It is absolutely wonderful. Although the captain's quarters are like a football field.
Yeah, they're enormous. It's palatial. It's like a penthouse suite.
Exactly.
It really is. I mean, it's glorious. Everybody was talking about it, and you're trying to retrofit that into the current canon, and you can't.
Yep.
But I'm just kind of going with, okay, whatever. I'm just moving on. But I think the story is great. I loved this last episode.
Oh my gosh.
I thought it was great.
Really great. It really was.
And I'm really enjoying Anson Mount as Picard, and
as Picard
as Pike. Yeah, as Jean-Luc Pike.
Jean-Luc Pike.
Yeah, or Christopher Picard. Take your pick. The character that I'm really excited to see them develop is Hemmer.
Yeah.
I think he is going to be the breakout character, and I have a funny feeling the showrunners knew that. That's why they're holding him in reserve,
right?
Because they don't want to kind of like, give us too much Hemmer. Ooh, crap! Give us too much Hemmer all at once.
Right.
They kind of want to give him a little bit at a time because I think they know that this guy's going to be like the most popular character in the show.
Yep. And we were going to talk a little more about it, but that pretty much tells us what we need to know. So here we go.
And it's time for our weekly review. These are items that we ran on our website at tggeeks.com this past week, and the links for each of these will be in the show notes for this episode article number 378 at tggeeks.com, starting with Sunday, May 8th, Nerdy Chupacabras number 99. 99? Wow, got 100 coming up.
100. Actually, it will be out by the time
this episode comes out. 100 will have been out. Monday the 9th, TG Geeks episode number 377. On Tuesday the 10th, 20th Century Studios releases trailer for Avatar, The Way of Water. Finally. On Wednesday the 11th, Disney Plus releases trailer for Rise. On Thursday the 12th, Easter Sunday from DreamWorks in theaters August 5th. On Friday the 13th, Hamish Downey's 5 Questions with Brian
Chabulski.
Thank you, Chabulski. I was wondering how that was pronounced. On Saturday the 14th, Trevor the Musical to debut on Disney Plus June 24th, as well as Andrea's Angle, Firestarter, solid performances, stale story. We have some shout-outs that we need to make. First to Brian Weber, our good friend Arkle. He is on Twitter as Geek of All Trades, and to look up that, it's at G33K of All Trades. He's also referred to as Brian the Ampersand List YouTuber. And his Arkle Times Post Dispatch News is back, which does republish some of our content from time to time. That's why we're giving him the shout-out. And while you're looking for all things Arkle, go to his YouTube channel, youtube.com/Arkle Studios, for his projects that he has there. His Shameless Cash Grab series, which is in Season 7. His Rans vs. Zombies series. Yes, it's over, but the whole thing is still there. You can still listen to past episodes. His Arkle Tier Ranks, as well as game videos of Trick and Treat and Star Trek Online. We must also give some shout-outs to a couple of Facebook groups following us to post our episodes and relevant articles on their pages. First, Two Gay Geeks After Hours. Big thanks to their moderators for saying that we could share away our content there. And their URL is facebook.com/group/Gay Geeks After Hours. That's all one word. And then to The Gay Geek for the same. And their URL is facebook.com/group/The Gay Geek. And as always, we give special thanks to their moderator, Jeremiah Reeves.
Thank you, Jeremiah. And other places we can be found are Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Amazon podcasts, as well as where other fine podcasts can be found. Also, check us out on Sci-Fi Radio at 3 a.m. and 3 p.m. Pacific Time on Tuesdays for a replay of this episode. And listen to their other content. They're a 24-hour geeky internet radio station. Please rate us and review us on iTunes, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And that should do it for this episode of TG Geeks Webcast. Be sure to check out the article for this webcast episode. We'll have several links on the page of things we talked about. And remember, you can comment on our Facebook page or our website, tggeeks.com, or you can leave us a voicemail at 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357. From TG Squared Studios, I'm Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. Please be kind to yourself and those around you. Stay safe, wear a mask, get vaccinated, get boosted. Peace.
Cheers.